Hello and thank you for joining me today for this video. My name is Daphna and today I'm gonna be showing you how I style my hair using pillow rollers. I'm saying this with a lot of confidence considering this is gonna be my first time using them. I've seen them on a few tutorials on YouTube and I really feel like I'm gonna like them. So I'm doing this for the first time with you. We're going on this journey together, so wish me luck. Also, maybe you're here because you watched my last video where I cut my own hair, kind of DIY'd it. So if you want to see how it actually works out, we're gonna see by the end of this video if this haircut is actually good for a vintage style. So stick around to see the results. If you want to see videos where I actually know what I'm doing, I recommend seeing my soft rollers tutorial where I do something that I've done a million times, which is style my hair using soft rollers. Same goes for the curling iron vintage waves tutorial, so feel free to check them out. So these rollers are basically, there's like a tiny roll in the middle, there's fabric that is covering all of this, and there's a metal wire in the middle. So you're basically supposed to roll the hair on this area right here in the middle and then just bend the other part over it. I think it's gonna be a bit more maybe comfortable to sleep in, so I'll report back if it is later on. I'm starting this off with my hair being straight and dry. I blow dried it before to do the haircut. To actually set the hair in the pillow rollers, I'm gonna be using a setting spray. You can alternatively use mousse or some other kind of hair product. You can also do a proper wet set only using water. I wouldn't do it with your hair wet, it's just gonna take forever to dry, so I recommend having it almost dry and then using a spray bottle with some water on it to just spray the hair before you roll it. Also, to just keep things a bit fresh, mostly for myself so I don't bore myself, I'm gonna be doing this set a bit differently. Usually if you've seen other tutorials of mine, I always start from the back and from like the bottom up. Today I'm gonna be starting from the front, like from the top area down, and also I'm gonna leave this area unstyled kind of to have a more 40s inspired look where the hair is straight here and then all the volume begins at the bottom. So let's see how that works out. And also I'm gonna be doing a bit of a different brush out where you don't need to like style it completely and sculpt it and backcomb it and all the things most of you don't like. So we're gonna do a more like loose kind of brush out, maybe have it be more fluffy and more 40s inspired, but it will really be dependent on how the actual pillow rollers work on my hair. By the way, I bought like 2 packages of 10, so I have 20 rollers, which is a bit dangerous, I feel. I think like if I would have 30 of this, I would be more relaxed about this video. I think they might run out by the end, but I'm gonna be a bit careful not to run out of them, and let's see how many you actually need for like this kind of long and medium thickness hair. Maybe it will be like a good indicator for you for how much you need. So let's start the rolling process. Later I'm just gonna go sleep with it and tomorrow I'm gonna brush it out for you. First of all, I'm creating a side part and then dividing my hair into a front section and a back section. I'm gonna be starting from the front section. I'm taking a strand of hair that will fit the roller, making sure I'm not taking too much because it will be impossible to roll and also it will take too long to dry. Next, I'm using a setting spray, spraying it throughout the strand of hair and then combing through to make sure it spreads evenly. I'm positioning the roller around mid-length of my hair, rolling the ends on it first and then continue rolling it all the way to the head. If the ends of the hair are acting up, grab a metal tail comb and use its tail to tuck in the ends of the hair. To finish off, just fold the corners of the pillow rollers. You can see here I'm not really happy with the first one, so I just roll it again. This happens sometimes, especially if you're using a new technique, new rollers, or even a different product than you're used to, so don't be discouraged. Once you get the hang of it, it will go much smoother, as you see by the next few rollers I'm gonna be rolling. When re-rolling, make sure to wet the hair with a bit more product in case it dried. Also, the reason it didn't roll good enough might be related to not being wet enough, so it doesn't hurt to make sure the ends are soaked in the product. Here you can see it worked out much better and I was able to roll it all the way to the roots of the hair like I wanted to. Next, I'm rolling the section right behind it. So again, I'm taking a section that fits my pillow roller, spraying the setting spray on it. By the way, I think this one I'm using is not available anymore, that's why I'm not mentioning the brand's name. Next, I'm coming through, spreading the product through the strand of hair, positioning the roller mid-length and rolling the ends. This is already going much better than the first one. Lastly, I'm folding the corners of the roller to lock it in place. I just realized I'm sitting on a chair with adjustable height. I'm continuing to roll this whole front and center section the same way. Always making sure the ends of the hair are rolled completely smoothly on the roller, not smooshed in there, and also not rolled too tightly, just rolled nice and smooth on the roller. Next, I'm rolling the sides of the front section the same way, only facing down. On different areas of the head, you will need a varying amount of rollers depending on the length and thickness of the hair in that area. Let's start the back section. This is gonna be a bit random in terms of the section I'm gonna be taking because I'm leaving the crown of the hair unrolled. Notice I'm only using the setting spray on the area of the hair that is gonna be rolled. The rolling technique itself is similar to the front of the hair, only the strand of hair is angled down, and I'm placing the roller beneath the strand of hair and rolling it until I pretty much reach the head. I don't really work like this on the back of my hair usually. I just bring my hair to the front so it's easier to style this way. When styling my own hair, I usually style the back in two sections, on my left and on my right. Here you can see me style the whole left section of the back of my head, and then we'll magically skip to the end of this set because I'm sure you got the hang of this by now. By the way, in case you were wondering, I ended up using exactly the 20 rollers on my whole head. So that's it, I'm done rolling them. Next, I'm just gonna wrap this up and go to sleep in it. I'm curious to see how comfortable they will be to sleep in and how they will be when I actually take them out and brush them. So see you tomorrow. Hello again. So this is the next morning. I've slept in with these rolls and it's been also a few hours already since the morning. It's already noon, so they had a lot of time to set in. In terms of sleep, it was very comfortable to sleep in, not that much different than sponge rollers, but I feel like it is a little more comfortable because they don't have that plastic bit that the sponge rollers have. But more importantly, let's see how the actual curls come out. So I'm gonna take out the rollers now. Okay, it looks really good so far. Like, this is a tight curl. So I'll go ahead now and take all of the rollers out. That's how you know a curl is really good, when it's like super bouncy. When you stretch it out and it just bounces back, that's like a tight curl that is gonna be really good when you brush it out and will turn into a really nice wave. Okay, this area is a bit moist. just a tiny bit. But you see what happens when you use like a strand of hair that is a bit too thick for the roller, but it's just like in this area, so that's fine. You can see because of the closure, maybe I did it wrong, like maybe there's a better way to do it, but there is a little like dent here and here. Probably it's gonna be all over this area as well, where the closing of the roller was. So I need to figure out maybe a better method. Anyway, I can fix this in a bit when I style the hair. Yeah, this one is a bit moist as well. I just think some of them I took like bigger groups and they didn't dry completely, but still it feels like it's a good curl, like it holds, so that's fine. It's raining really heavily today, so I hope the sound doesn't get into this video, and also like the lighting keeps changing on me. So yeah, and my dogs are snoring in the background. Everything is going great. So I'm just loosening this up a bit. Yeah, my brush just fell. So I'm just loosening the hair a bit using my fingers. These curls are like crazy. They're really tight curls. I think it's gonna be really great for a brush out. I am breaking kind of the product up a bit because it's gonna be too hard to brush it when it's like this. Amazing. Okay, so I'm grabbing a brush and just brushing. I think the diameter of these rollers are actually smaller than the sponge rollers I'm using usually, which is actually great for me because my hair is really straight naturally. Do you remember how my hair looked when we started this tutorial? Like, this is crazy. You can see that my natural tendency is to make the hair extra sculpted, like I am doing like this kind of thing with my hand, which makes the hair be more sleek and more brushed out into like a more sculpted hairstyle. But I really want to have like this kind of effect, like a bit more fluffy and less sculpted, so I'm gonna not brush like using this technique as much as I can. So I'm basically just brushing. It's really coming into like an amazing shape. By the way, you can really see the haircut now. Here you can really see the difference, where in this area I didn't roll the rolls all the way to this like crown of the head, so all the curls are like at the bottom of the hair. My hair wasn't like freshly washed, so because it's a little oily, you can see I'm just like doing this and it stays. But you can do this using some pomade. I'm gonna resist the urge to do some back combing. I'm just gonna use my fingers to give the hair a tiny bit of volume in this area. Here you can see the final result after like brushing and brushing and brushing. First of all, I'm just gonna say I think my haircut turned out really well. Like, I really love the gradual kind of like shape of the hair. I think it looks really well. Let's see from behind. I didn't even check like how this looks from behind. I hope it looks good. About the rollers themselves, I'm not sure completely if I'm like a huge fan at this point. I do think they're great because the curls themselves turned out a bit more tight, which is nice. Maybe it's just not what I was going for. I did want more of like a fluffy kind of look, and I felt like they keep like trying to make my hair more like sculpted. It was a bit of a struggle to get it to be like fluffy but not like too frizzy. Anyway, it just didn't turn out like the complete way I imagined it would, but I do think it's maybe just because I came with an idea of like how I wanted this to turn out, and they didn't really go with me on that plan. I think though that next time, if I just use them and like kind of let them lead the hair into the direction they feel like going, it would be a bit better. And also I didn't like that it left dents in the hair that I didn't really plan on having, and I didn't want to overcomplicate this tutorial by showing you how to fix them. I did do that in the soft rollers tutorial, so you can see there, just using some hairspray and a blow dryer as well can fix these kinds of marks in the hair. And I wanted to like kind of only brush it out and have it be perfect, and it's not completely perfect in my standard. I do think they were pretty easy to use, although it took me a second to get used to them, but I think this is like, if you're just starting out with vintage hairstyling, I think this will work for you, especially if you have straight hair that usually doesn't hold a curl that well. Anyway, I'll have to use them a few times more, maybe not when I'm filming a video and have expectations of how I want want the final result to be, but just like kind of let them lead the hairstyle, which is a great tip for hairstyling in general. You kind of have to go with the hair and what it wants to do. That's it. Thank you so much for watching this video and for joining me on this weird journey together. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel like doing, and I'll see you on the next video. Kisses!